I know you receive a lot of mail from people sending artwork and asking for autographs, but I'm pretty sure very few people are sending you books written about one of your songs. What was your first reaction when you went to pick up your mail and saw the book?
Well, it's amazing that someone, the trouble that went into it, and that someone should do that was very nice. It wasn't what I was expecting it to be, I must admit.
Yeah, what do you think about the fact that they wrote a story about the same song? Did you ever think An Island in the Darkness as being a song that could inspire so many different stories?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm sure that the different children, some people responded to it more than others. I mean, it's not everybody's. The music isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I think it just gives, it's a starting point, isn't it? It's just something that there's a lot of ideas and imagery in there, and a lot of things you can think about, and it sets people off in very different directions.
Yeah, and it's very funny because the kids were really very scared of it at the beginning because it was very long, and it's not music that they are used to listen to. And the more they were listening to it, the more they were getting into it, and that was great. You should have seen that. It was so amazing to see their faces, and they were getting it. They really were, and it was very impressive to see.
Do you have any favorite stories?
So what you say?
Do you have any favorite stories in the book?
Well, no. I mean, I just you just read it and respond to different things in it. It's nice what people do, and they get a different reaction. I think it's interesting though that what you said about. The thing about music nowadays, most people, music tends to be quite short, and people expect to be able to get into it sort of in one listen and everything. And obviously, music like this one takes a lot longer to get into. It takes many minutes to to get going. And then obviously, the first time you hear it, there's a lot of different ideas. Doesn't necessarily make sense, and I think it requires a few listens to understand. And there isn't so much music in the rock world anyhow at the moment that's kind of written that requires that kind of thought.
Okay. Are you surprised or flattered that the 12 years old kids could be interested in your solo career and discover your music? I mean, the ears of a new generation.
Well, it's obviously very nice. I'm very grateful. I'm sure that they needed leading there. I mean, they're not going to find it on their own. Someone's going to make them do it and everything. But I mean, I think what's nice is the fact that you make people, you do something outside probably the experience they expected to have, and maybe it makes them think about other things. And perhaps some of those children will go on and sort of enjoy music of a slightly sort of broader spectrum than they might have done had they not heard this particular song,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So some of the kids went beyond the project, and they really got into your music after they wrote their stories. Some of them went on YouTube and they checked what was there, and some of them went on the net and listened to some songs online. And one of them really got into it, and she was really an island. She was a fan after that. So she was playing it on guitars, and she learned it on drums. It was great. It was great. And when you said they needed leading, they really did. It's not something that I could have done at the beginning of the year. It was something that you have to build a trust to really get there. They really have to trust you to say, okay, you're going to put a 17-minute song on your head, and then you're going to have to write something about it. So, but they really were into it. That was great.
Well, that's good. I'm very glad that I'm just glad that you managed to get some response there. I'm sure that one or two people have had more trouble with it than others.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, there's no reason it's not. The music is complicated enough, but it's not going to appeal to everybody by any means. But I think it can appeal to more people than think. When you hear it first time, you probably think, oh, it's a bit too difficult, and then you hear it again, and you think, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a grower.
Yeah.
The kids were really hoping to get a reaction from you, Mr. Bang, and to know what you thought about the book. They really worked very hard. And even more when they were told that you would get a copy on the book as well. Do you have a message for them? We're listening. Take your time.
Well, I mean, it's a sort of too general a thing, isn't it? You've got lots of people. I thank them for their time and the fact that they gave it a chance. You give it a listen. I mean, this isn't. It's not an easy piece of music. It's not a piece of music that's been particularly successful either. You know what I mean? So it's not something that you have to listen to or do anything, but I think it can speak to people in terms of its lyrical idea. I mean, obviously, it's going to suggest it's quite an open lyric. It lends itself to quite a few interpretations, I think, and obviously they found some of those interpretations within the things they wrote. So I think it's very good. I'm very impressed.